This is Callie Jurdot, and this is my score analysis of the Schubert Mass in G, the Gloria section, done in the way of Margaret Hillis. And we are starting at the beginning on an Allegro maestoso at a 4/4 time signature that continues both throughout the piece. So because of the 4/4 time, it's marked with an X at the beginning and at the beginning of every section throughout the piece. It is also marked with a red quarter note with 120 to 168 written next to it for beats per minute for the Allegro maestoso, and that does not change throughout the piece. There are also no accelerandos, ritardandos, or accents to be marked. And so going on from there, the choir all starts together in measure 3. The instrumentalists start in measure 1 on a forte dynamic level. And then the choir starts with a forte dynamic level as well. Every time that more than 2 of the voices were singing together on the same words and same rhythms, I marked it with an orange. And so right at the beginning, we have all 4 voices starting together. And I have also marked in the breath marks that would be taken at the end of the phrases. The instrumentalists go into a fortissimo dynamic level, and then the voices follow on the second page at a fortissimo dynamic level, and then quickly in the third measure changes to piano. And then we go back into a forte dynamic level towards the end of that top line. And on the bottom, there's a few sforzandos that are listed in the instrumental parts, which are in bright red. Going on to the next page, there is a piano dynamic in the instruments, except for this one is a tacit solo. There's kind of a call and response section between the upper 2 voices and the bottom 2 voices, starting with the top 2 voices here at a piano dynamic level and then echoed by the bottom 2 voices here. Here is the beginning of section A, again marked with an X, like I said before. And at this point, we have the top 3 voices singing on the same kind of line, and then the basses are on something totally different. So that counter melody I have highlighted in yellow. The chord progression analysis is done underneath each of the vocal parts, and it's done in pencil. Going on, there is a crescendo right here in the instrumental parts, and that crescendos us up to a forte in the vocal voices and to a fortissimo in the instruments. Moving on to the next page, I just have some of the breath markings marked in, and also at the beginning of each line, I have the vocal parts have a yellow line through the clefs. And down at the bottom, we have a solo that enters at section B between the soprano and the bass voice. There was not a dynamic level written in for the soprano or bass solos, but I put them at a forte, and the other voices have a piano marked in. Going on to the next page, there's a few crescendos and decrescendos that happen that are marked in red. And then the soprano and bass solo ends here. Everyone sings together, and then a bass solo happens again. And the other voices are on a piano dynamic level. And then down at the bottom, the bass solo continues here, and the soprano solo comes back in again. And a few more crescendos and decrescendos. On to the next page. Here again, all of the voices come in together on the same kind of part at section C. And down towards the bottom, there are a few more forzandos that are listed in the instrumental parts. And again, a few more forzandos. Down to the bottom, a decrescendo that's listed along with the breath markings. Everybody is singing together on the same kind of part. And moving on to the end of the piece, there's 2 more forzandos that I listed boldly, but it happens in every measure here. So it's basically just a reminder for me. And other than that, that is all I had for the score analysis of the Gloria.